Hey there, comic compadres. This is Mark with Chico's Comics, and today we're going to be talking about estate sales, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Thanks for jumping in today, guys. Appreciate everybody who enjoyed my last video. I had excellent reception on that one. I appreciate all the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Like I said, my name is Mark, and today I'm going to be discussing two separate estate sales that I went to. Both of them had great books. Both of them had completely different outcomes. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So I went to two separate estate sales, 2 different days, but estate sales can be a great way to find comic collections, different eras that might pop up, sometimes very small collections, maybe just a handful of books, sometimes very large collections. And so the first estate sale I wanted to talk about was a very large collection. And one of them had posted one that had about 20 long boxes, ton of toys, ton of vinyls, a bunch of other stuff. It looked like the owner of the estate was just actually trying to downsize and move out of town. And in part of that, he was selling his comic collection. And it was interesting because they actually had the owners of the estate sale do all of the appraisal for the comics, which was interesting. And so they pretty much had most of their long boxes there listed at just flat $3 a book. And then they had about 5 long boxes that were prices marked. I went to those boxes first. They were kind of in the back of the estate sale, under a table where the guy was, monitoring it the entire time, which I understand. But I went to that table and actually didn't find too much. Those prices were way off, not finding keys and everything. The one book I did find in there that I paid the most out of that estate sale was going to be Batman 638. This one I paid $20 for, extremely high grade, and that was actually one of the themes throughout all of these books here. They were very, very well kept, high grade books, and so this one was one of them. I think this is where he finds out that Jason Todd is the Red Hood, but love this cover, had to pick it up. Another one that was not the $3 books was something I could not pass up, and that is an issue of Dark Hawk #1, a high grade copy. I have never owned this book. Being an 80s baby and kind of experiencing all that 90s pop culture, I had to have this copy in my collection. So I was very pleased to find that. And for $8, that was definitely a bargain deal. And so the next books that I'm going to show you were all $3. And these ones were the ones I was extremely surprised about their pricing. But so let me go through some of these books. And these all books, the rest of these books were all $3. So let's see how I did. So the ones I did find, I was very happy to pick up. Issue 8, Mother's Day, and then issue 13 of the series. Tim Sale, rest in peace. We lost him last year. One of the many comic book, artists and writers that we unfortunately lost in 2022, but very happy to add these two to the collection here. The Long Halloween is an excellent storyline, and I hope they don't have to necessarily adapt it to the silver screen, but the animated 2-part movie that they did, the DC animated universe has always been very strong. So I'm happy that they really gave that storyline some justice. Next book I have here, Batman and Robin Adventures, issue 1. I grew up on Batman the Animated Series, so absolutely love finding these out in the wild, especially when they're in high grade and for a great price. And then right on the heels of that, Batman and Robin Adventures, also issue 1. I'm not too sure what happened on that double issue 1. Someone in the comments, please let me know. But I do love Joker as Mask of the Phantasm. I know this isn't a high value book, but this is just an awesome book to have nonetheless. I missed out on the Paul Dini signing that he did with CGC several months ago, and I sad I didn't have some of these books earlier in the collection. Legends of the Dark Knight issue 50. Gotta love that kind of iconic Joker and cat cover here. When I see this, I just like to pick it up. It's an excellent book. You gotta love that 90s gold foil that's on the cover as well. Some of the next ones here. So, a lot of these were pretty 90s. There were a lot of Spawn. Like I told you about that Spawn issue 1 was very overpriced. But Spawn issue 9, first appearance of Angela, was not. $3 all day in high grade. I will gladly pick this book up. Glad I got that one there. Another Batman from the early 2000s. The first appearance of Thomas Elliot, who later becomes Hush. I love this cover. You know, some people seem to not be fond of this cover, but I really enjoy seeing Poison Ivy and Catwoman on this cover. That Jim Lee art is just fantastic, and really happy to pick that one up. Coming back into the 90s, Mask of the Phantasm was such a powerhouse and still is a powerhouse of a movie and a story. And I was very happy to pick up this animated movie adaptation. This is a thick book, too. I believe this is like maybe over 64 pages. But that one I think I might get graded. The next few I think I'm definitely getting graded, and these are definitely some of my favorite out of the bunch. Batman Adventures, the Holiday Special, Issue 1. I love Mr. Freeze. He's such a badass character. I do have his first appearance up there, and when I get this graded here, it's going to look fantastic up on the wall there. I can't remember correctly. I haven't read this book exactly, so I don't know if they're also using a bit of the Heart of Ice storyline, which if you guys have not seen the Heart of Ice on Batman the Animated Series, you know, this is where they get all of that, you know, origin of Mr. Freeze that we know kind of now in modern day. Fantastic storyline. I'd actually love to see Matt Reeves do a twist on that one in his movies. We will see. The next three, the two after this one are definitely my heavy hitters. But Vengeance of Bane, number 2 here, first print, of course. Love this book. Happy to find this one. But it was this one that I was so happy to find in the $3 boxes. Vengeance of Bane, first print, high grade issue 1, first appearance of Bane. So stoked to find this book. This book went absolutely crazy during the comic boom. So, you know, I'm glad to not only pick it up, but pick it up at an extremely fair price. And for $3, you know, this one I'm actually prepping for my press right now because I want to get this guy graded. And I've been slowly building my Batman Rogues gallery and all my comics. I have to reshuffle some of my books back here, but that'll be something I'll be displaying, as well as this lovely Batman Adventures Mad Love. What more iconic Harley Quinn storyline in comics other than Mad Love? She gets great, you know, Batman Adventures 12, of course, always going to be that first comic appearance of Harley, but Mad Love really does just illuminate in great imagery and detail that relationship between her and the Joker. This one is very high grade. I'm going to be sending this one out to get slabbed up, and I'm going to add it up to some of my Harley books I have kind of back over here as well. And so that was from the first estate sale. The second estate sale had happened on a different weekend from a different company, but it was going to be only about 6 books that I saw listed on their listing. And so the big book that caught my attention was going to be Amazing Spider-Man, right over here. This book, you know, I did not look in high grade, of course, but it's Silver Age Spider-Man. That's always going to be desirable. This is not a book I have in my Spider-Man run right now, so I wanted to pick it up. I wanted to ensure that I got this book. They only had 6 books, so I had to be there early. I showed up about 2 hours early to this estate sale, maybe closer to 2.5 hours. It started at 9 a.m. I got there at 6:30. It was about 25 degrees outside. I sat outside with 2 cups of coffee in my Yetis and just kind of posted up and waited for it. And I was the first person in the door. This kind of comes into the bad of the estate sales. They had them right there by the front door with the cashier, and I found the owner and I said, hey, I want to see the Spider-Man books. And he said, okay. He pulled them out, and I said, okay, well, you know, looked at the ASM. It had a detached staple on the bottom, about a 3-inch tear on the back cover, very low grade. I'm estimating 2.0, you know, maybe on a good day. Was complete. I did count the pages. Didn't really look for restoration, but I talked to him about, you know, price right away. And he tells me right off the bat, we have $1,000 offer on this book. And I was like, okay, crap. Like, this guy's trying to pump price. And I was like, $1,000 offer. I was the first guy in the estate sale. And I told him, man, if you can get $1,000 for this book, you should get it. You know, if they're offering already, you know, they always advertise on these estate sales, you know, no prices prior. You know, there wasn't a preview night, nothing like that. So, you know, where this $1,000 offer came from is beyond me, But hey, that's his prerogative. You know, what he told me when I was asking him about prices, well, I need to do what's best for my client. I understand that, dude, but like you also need to be realistic in your price. $1,000 for this extremely low grade copy. I could go out and buy a CGC graded 5.0 for about half of that price, maybe half of that price, probably less. But yeah, you know, there was just kind of no talking to him about it. He was dead set, $1,000, or I had to beat the offer. So I wasn't going to overpay. You know, why would I overpay on this book? I did leave him my number and I did not get a call back. I said, just in case it sells. But here's the curveball. About a week later, Facebook Marketplace listing comes up, and it is the Amazing Spider-Man. Third appearance of Doc Ock. It's from the actual estate owner, and he has it listed, and it's listed as free on the listing. So I reach out to him to ask about pricing. I said, hey, I went to that estate sale. Doesn't look like it's sold. This was kind of my estimate on condition, but I wanted to ask what your asking price was. $1,200. Wow, the book didn't sell over the weekend, so now it's worth $200 more. And so what I told them is that, okay, I understand, you know, $1,200 is your asking price, but, and I kind of went into my spiel, and I was trying to be very cordial and polite, of course. You know, if he wants to sell his book for $10,000, that is his priority. I have no say in what he wants to ask for his book. But what I did tell him, you know, is that, hey, this is kind of what I estimated on condition. This is what I see in fair market value. This is, you know, kind of associated grading costs and cleaning costing, just kind of processing. This is going to be for, you know, my collection. He said, well, you know, $1,200 and I'll give you the other books for free. I'm like, oh, thank you for the dollar books. But needless to say, you know, I told him, hey, that's fine. You know, it's your book and you can ask what you want. But if you decide to come down in price, you know, please let me know. And he messages me back pretty quickly. Okay, how about 800? And I'm like, man, I'm sorry, dude, but you know, this book is worth about 200 bucks. Maybe a little more on a good day, maybe. But it's already got a detached bottom staple. The top staple is holding on for dear life. You know, I'm trying to be as polite as possible, but you know, it didn't happen. I am not going to push him to sell me the book if he doesn't want to sell it. You know, and I didn't push him anymore. After that $800, I left it be. He can do what he wants with that book. But you know, this is just the estate sales. You know, this is part of it. I don't really come across comic books at any yard sales here in town. But the estate sales, hit or miss. But you know, that's it with my rant. What are you guys finding out on your estate sales? Any, you know, big finds? Happy hunting, guys. Please give me a like, a comment, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate everybody who's jumping into the channel, and I'll see you next time, comic compadres.